I'm always fascinated about telling these stories where people feel suppressed, where people feel that they are not part of the system. My name is Anuz Thapa. I'm a multimedia journalist based in New York City. I produce video stories, especially long-form storytelling. I was a news anchor, program producer in Nepal on a television called News 24 Television. I worked there for 5 years. Then I have worked for BBC in Nepal. I was also a radio news anchor in Nepal. I migrated to New York City in 2014 because I won a diversity visa lottery. I recently graduated in December 2017 from CUNY Graduate School of Journalism.
He came to the US in 1995 with his mother, but it wasn't until his senior year that he knew the truth about his status.
I'm always fascinated about telling these stories where people feel suppressed, where people feel that they are not part of the system, and I like to tell those stories because everywhere you go, even in third world country or first world country, there are so many people who are voiceless and their voices are never heard.
47-year-old Qazi Fauzia is an activist who fights for immigrant rights. She remembers the struggles they went through to get DACA, and now she says that everything achieved might be lost.
Our all hard work, all struggle, just going like a down and just marginalize all of our works because someone really don't like us.
The video documentary I produce is Fighting for Justice. This video documentary is about anti-Muslim hate crime. The central character of this documentary is an Imam, Maulana Akonjee, and his assistant Thara Uddin, but I was focusing on Maulana Akonjee. And he and his assistant were murdered in a broad daylight in Ozone Park 2 years ago.
Murder of Imam Maulana Akonjee and his associate Thara Uddin.
It was very hard to do that documentary because the son, who is my central character, was really reluctant to talk to me on camera. It took me literally 6 months to convince him to speak to me on camera.
It was 13 August 2016. I was not home. That day I was Hillside Avenue in Jamaica. It was noon time, like 1:45 p.m. My brother, my younger brother, immediate younger brother called me. Somebody shot my father.
But the thing about that documentary is it was half finished because the guy who was back then charged with murder of that Imam, the trial was going on back then. So when I premiered that documentary at Queen's World Film Festival, people were asking me what's going on in the case, and I told them the trial was going on.
This is a hate crime, but government office, they say they don't approve for the hate crime. This one, the day one in the beginning, they think the second degree murder, but is our community pushed too much? They are agree to bound to district attorney to they put in the first degree murder, but they don't take it as a seriously as a hate crime.
And then people were asking me what happened to the case, and back then the trial was going on. So I was following the documentary, I was following the trial, and finally the climax happened. And I got all the pieces together, and finally I was able to make that documentary because it has a beginning and it has an ending too.
Today brought us justice, but it did not bring us closure for the horrific crime that not only impacted our families, not only impacted our city, but was felt by Muslims across the world. A crime that shocked the conscience of our city and which defied all explanation.
In this documentary, they were trying to tell the whole world that as a Muslim, they are in their subconscious mind, they feel the fear of being a Muslim, but they can't express that openly on camera. Whenever I talk to them off the camera, they would say, okay, like there has been so many incidents, Anuj, like when people would give a look at me just because I was wearing this outfit, just because I grew my beard. Even in New York City, where people say we are so friendly with each other, we are so homely with each other, but still we see so many instances where people are just judging people just by their appearances. When I grow my beard a little bit longer than this, I am always the person who becomes the person of the random check in the subway wherever I go. Like sometimes, like my wife tells me to get rid of my beard, because I'm the only person who gets the random check. So maybe there's a problem here.